more. KBOO is a proud
Making my way
partner
through the
for Northwest Film
Northwest
Center's Voices in
neighborhood.
Action. Human rights on film.
Wow,
You can
couldn't
get
get
more
out of the other
information
street, but this
at
street's wide open. Look at that. Monday. It's a cool Monday.
And now, your daily volunteer-produced community newscast, the KBOO Evening
KBOO
News.
Evening News. What else? What's going on? Let's see how depressed we can get here.
Coming up on the KBOO Evening News, a MAX train collides with a semi-truck at Hillsborough.
That's right, a MAX train, but it wasn't the MAX driver's fault. Some train, some bus truck went into the train. Another advantage of having the MAX train on the actual street. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but that is not a good idea. Okay. See, light rail is really effective when they have their own right-of-way that's not affected at all by regular traffic, which we do have in areas of our light rail system. But you know, as anybody who knows our light rail system knows, there's a lot of areas where we're going right through traffic, and this is what you have when you do that. You know, it's not a smart way to do it, but that's what Portland did. You know, they didn't do it right, really. I mean, if they were going to put in the light rail, they should have put it in right, made it the express that it could have been. You know, segregated right away. And limited stops. I mean, the way they have all those stops in downtown is just horrible, man. It just slows it down. It defeats the whole purpose of light rail, really. I mean, light rail can be like a subway system, really. You know, really making time. It's cheaper to put in than a light rail subway. But you got to have a segregated right-of-way, and we don't have that in many areas of our light rail system. I guess the green line is all segregated, isn't it? And I think even the yellow line is. I think that runs on the street. I think that's got its own. It crosses the street, but it doesn't run on the street. Anyway, it's a beautiful, cool day, but it was sunny earlier. The sun's going down. And what do we have today? Yeah, Max was down again. Light rail fail. I don't care whose fault it is. It's a light rail fail. And which means the whole line is down until they figure out what to do. They have to mobilize the buses. Don't get rid of those buses yet. Boy, there's too many light rail fails. Alright, here we go. Heading up the road. See how eastbound was a little bit, it looked a little bit tight when I was looking at it from my computer screen. You know, I tell you, I've been dealing with some more managers in another issue, which I promised that I wasn't going to discuss on my blog. So I'm not going to discuss the specifics of it. But I got to tell you, these managers, and when I say the term manager, that means anybody whose job is to deal with issues surrounding us. We're the actual people that do the work. Okay? All the people around us don't actually do any work. All the so-called support personnel, we have supervisors, station agents, station managers, HR people. There's a whole array of people that are employed because we're employed. So we have this huge network of people whose jobs function around our jobs. Of course, we're the only ones that are actually doing anything that helps the public. They have there's my bus. The other people are all here supposedly to deal with us and all of our screw-ups or all of our issues or support us, whatever. I don't know. You know, huge bureaucracy. It's like the picture you see about public works personnel. You know, there's one guy in the trench digging the hole, and then there's 4 people watching him. That's kind of how it is here at TriMet. There's one person driving the bus, and then there's 4 people watching me driving the bus. it's very accurate. It's a very accurate way to describe it, because that's what it is, really. Anyway, they are particularly frustrating people to deal with, you know, really. This particular woman, I mean, by the time I got off the phone with her, I had a headache. Okay, and it's not that easy. It's not that easy to out-talk me, okay? I'm pretty fast talking. But I couldn't keep up with her, boy. She just talked me into exhaustion. Okay, that's the best way I can say it. She talked me into exhaustion, and I got a headache dealing with her, which is pretty good, okay? Because, you know, I'm pretty good at talking, as you can see, but she actually outdid me. Anyway, that is just another failed attempt to communicate with what are they? Oh, this is Lisa Michaels. Oh, that's a congressperson. Is there an election coming up? That's just another failed attempt to communicate a point of view that I just can't seem to get across. I mean, I don't actually expect any victories in dealing with management. I know that they're not going to let me win anything, but I would like to get one little hint of actually getting through to people that I have some issues which are they're not just imaginary issues, you know, they're not just, I'm making this up because I have sour grapes or something. No, these are real issues. And they need to be looked at, okay? Now, regarding my dispatch thing, they've done a wonderful job balling me up on that. That was just brilliant. And, you know, I understand why they did it. It's not like I don't have understanding of why they did that. I suppose if I were in their shoes, I would have tried to, except I would have been more reasonable about it. You know, I always believe in cooperation rather than mandatory compliance. I don't believe in the power trip. You know, power trip is the worst way to do it, because you end up with a person who's not happy with having to comply, as I'm not. Okay. And I'm still looking for ways around it. And I'm working with Jeff to figure out, and everybody will say, well, what do you care about this for? I mean, Jesus, I can still listen to them. I haven't lost my freedom to do what I want, but I can't publicize them. And so why should I care about that? Why do I care that nobody else can hear them? I care about it because they're telling me what I can do when I'm off duty. Okay, that's why I care about it, because they're telling me that I can't participate in illegally sanctioned behavior because I work here. That can't possibly be enforceable. Or maybe it is. I know employment law is funny, you know, because I've looked into all of these different things as a result of my employment. There's this funny little gray areas. Like, okay, I determined when I was investigating that they said I could not shoot any film of anybody when I'm riding the Max, even when I'm not on duty. And I went, wait a minute, there's hundreds and hundreds of people shooting videos of people on Max and Max that don't work here. How come I can't do it? And it turned out that they did have some rights when it came to my behavior on their system when I'm on their property, even if I'm off duty. They did have rights. I had it checked out with an employment lawyer. I was shocked too. I couldn't believe it. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Man, they moved this Goodwill thing. Okay, there he is over there. What the hell are they doing over here? I'll be back just in a minute. We got TVs, we got clothes, we got pet things, speakers, and what's going on with this building? Things for sale. What do you want to do? Oh, it's just for sale? Yeah. Let me get that. You want some? There's a bunch of clothes in this suitcase. Okay. Some clothes and Okay, where was I? Let's see, where was I? Can't remember. Something about employment law, I think. Yeah, it turned out that they had rights regarding when I'm on their property. Well, if I'm at home at my desk listening to something that's publicly broadcast, do they have rights to tell me that I can't do that? Do they actually have a right to tell me how I can handle that material because it's their material? I guess it's possible they could. I mean, it's not like they don't have lawyers looking into this stuff. I mean, the employment, when you work for a place, you pretty much don't have any rights regarding, even this is a government agency where I'm supposed to have more protections as a result of that. It's supposed to be more of a because I'm a government person, I have a little bit more freedoms than somebody who works in the completely private sector, which doesn't have any rights at all, really. I mean, you're pretty much an at-will employee when you work in the private sector, and nobody would allow me to do anything, probably, if I was critical of policies. But since this is a public place, I mean, I'm critical of the policies of this organization, and the whole light rail thing, I'm against that. The whole streetcar thing. Well, streetcar thing, I don't understand it, but I suppose make it something about livability and all of that. I don't know. At some point, all of this stuff will probably pay off. But, they already had service. The biggest problem I have with all of that growth thing is they already had service. Okay? They had service with buses, and they wanted to change the type of service and put all this investment into changing from one service to another. Now, I don't get that. I could understand them putting in like the Milwaukee line if there was nothing to Milwaukee. It'd be like, great, okay, Milwaukee needs service, let's put in the Milwaukee line, but they have service. So I don't understand this idea that they should invest all these resources into changing the type of services that they're providing. I don't get it, and I don't agree with it. I mean, it's just so you can move more people. It's cheaper in the long run because you have less operators. Well, it's less humane, too. It's less humane. It's not a humane. I'm against all of this. Let's pack people in like sardines into this. And then you have the light rail, when something goes wrong, the whole line is down. And you can't change it. Once it's in, it's in. It's not movable. I'm against those things. Certain things make sense. The blue line, the yellow line's a joke. The green line's a joke. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see any advantage to that. I mean, they put the yellow line, I guess, in because they figured they would eventually go to Vancouver, but that's not a sure thing. Vancouver doesn't want it for whatever reason, which is crazy, is my opinion. They don't want it. I mean, I guess they have a right to that, but you would think that they would want it. I mean, look at the traffic on I-5 South. It's just horrible. Look at this traffic here today. Wow, this is Monday, and look at how backed up that is. What the heck? Is there a holiday coming up or something here?